Welcome to Healthy, Happy, Wise, Wealthy, the podcast where we talk about everything about healthy, happy, wise, wealthy living from cradle to grave. I'm your host, Mary Meyer. There was a lot to learn with Kara and Brittany on the topics of detox and vitality, so this is split into 2 episodes. Make sure you catch both.
Yeah, before we move on from here, though, because I could have said this sooner about other systems, but liver, it's like I can't move on from that without mentioning, and you got to deal with the anger in your life.
Yes.
You know, in traditional Chinese medicine, which I've studied more traditional Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, so a lot of these Eastern medicines. So these are ancient ways of practicing medicine that are still practiced today. Like Ayurveda, 5,000 plus years old. Traditional Chinese medicine, 2,000 plus. So these practices have been around for so long. And I like to explain to people, it's just a different way of looking at the body, and the remedies that are offered are different. And I really align with both of those systems. And in traditional Chinese medicine, 100% of the time, you're going to be talking about the emotions and what's going on in your life and, you know, what's troubling you. And each major organ frequency wise correlates with the frequency of an emotion. So if you've got liver congestion, anger is the emotion that resonates with this little lady of the liver. Resentment is the gallbladder. Anxiety is more in the tummy, fear in the kidneys. I could keep going on. Grief in the lungs. But it's so important that you can't overlook those emotional pieces and only focus on the physical detox. You could physical detox yourself all day long. Yeah. And if you're sitting there red hot with a bunch of anger that's unexpressed, you're probably not going to get that liver up and running, because you got to deal with the emotional energy that the liver is holding and being congested by. And the other way to think of the liver is it's this beautiful organ that filters through everything that we ask of our bodies, including our emotion. Mm-hmm. So if you're having a very emotional day, your liver is working on that emotion, as well as if you have a Diet Coke and walk through the aisle of chemicals in the supermarket and walk outside and talk on yourself. I mean, like the exposure that we have to toxins is more than our bodies are made to tolerate and deal with, because our bodies are freaking brilliant. We are made to heal. We are literally designed to deal with things. But the problem is we, again, have grown away from this understanding of our beautiful bodies and our beautiful earth and the way that it's made, as you know, the macro and the micro and all these systems that work beautifully when you give them what they need and you treat them how they want to be treated. And so when we disregard that, and there's just too much to deal with. Our systems are overloaded. You know, one of my mentors likes to say, it's like it is a lot of work to be healthy in modern society.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you can't be perfect. I mean, that's the thing. Like we can't escape the toxins. We cannot be perfect. So I always tell people to, you know, do the best you can. And if I'm rattling off 10 things for you to do, pick 1 or 2 to start with, because it's completely overwhelming. Mm-hmm. And you simply cannot do it all. I mean, I have, like I think I mentioned, I've always been on this journey of some piece of emotional healing, probably since I was very small. Mm-hmm. But a couple of years ago, it's probably been 3 years ago now, when I started working with a mentor to really heal some of my core wounds at a deeper level. And the first couple months of diving into that, I was physically ill the entire time because of all the emotions I was stirring up and getting rid of. And this was not a new journey to me at all.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. The number of times that I have clients who are like, This happened and I physically threw up, and I wasn't sick. It just like my body rejected that. Because once you start understanding the way emotions actually impact your body, you'll start recognizing like there's this direct correlation. And the beauty is when we deal with our emotions as we're living our lives, which is the way we're made to have emotion. We are human beings and we are given these emotions. And when we befriend them and we understand what they're trying to tell us, they're gifts.
Right.
It's not always fun to feel every emotion, but the gamut of emotions is what, gives us information in our lives.
Even symptoms that you're having, those are gifts. Those are a sign to, hey, pause. I'm trying to tell you something.
Yes.
Something is not right. Will you please listen to me? Yeah. I mean, I'll take this, myself, for instance, we were talking about estrogen dominance and if we're not having daily bowel movements. I remember years ago, periods unbelievably heavy. I mean, I was ridiculously heavy. And looking at, and I had ovarian cysts. And so I was dealing with the pain of that, heavy periods. I was exhausted all the time, could not, you'd barely catch up and be able to begin to function, and I'd start again. Mm-hmm. And I, again, in the traditional system, went to the OBGYN. They tell me, we can do birth control, you can have an ablation or a hysterectomy. And I really didn't want any of those things. But at the time, I didn't know better. Mm-hmm. And no one asked me, are you having daily bowel movements? Mm. Well, no. I had been constipated my entire life. Mm-hmm. I lived off of laxatives. And now I know better. Like, why are we constipated? And Senna or some stool softener is not the answer. Mm-hmm. Like, why is this happening? Mm-hmm. So, we need to be having, we need to be able to have daily bowel movements, but just taking a laxative does not solve the problem.
No,
it's
not even an herbal one.
No, it's not fixing the underlying reason and all the things that are going on because you're not having a regular bowel movement.
And it's funny that we're coming to this one last, because really this is the center. This is the first thing you got to look at. Like, yeah, we look at all the pathways are the pathways open, but if you're not having bowel movements, that's where you got to start. Your gut is the center of your health.
Yeah.
And your liver is part of that digestive system, by the way. So
the gut and liver work hand in hand. So if one's off, the other is going to probably be off as well.
Yep. Yeah. They're two.
So what do you do? What do you do what do you tell people to do if they're just, not having daily bowel movements? What's the protocol?
What's the remedy? I mean, you want to start having daily bowel movements. So if someone is taking laxatives, I would probably switch them to something more natural to begin with. Encourage them to have more fiber. What's their water intake? The basic things that we can do. But then I'm also going to ask them to do some type of stool test, and we're going to look at your gut microbiome, and we're going to see what exactly is going on in there. And then we want to create a detox or a protocol to resolve that underlying issue. But a lot of things are recurrent. We can do something temporarily, but if you go back to the old patterns, if you go back to the old ways, it's going to reoccur. So it's really about creating a lifestyle that is conducive to health in the long run.
Yeah. And I would add to that, that's why, aside from like each detox pathway that we're talking about, one of the hacks to detox your body is to choose a lifestyle where you are exposed to less toxins, and to try to start learning about where you can. And I feel like we could do an entirely additional podcast about this.
And we should.
Yes. Like
Good.
what, like in
Yeah.
your whole, like
Your whole life.
in your whole life, in your whole life, including your emotional, relational life. Like, what does it look like to limit toxicity? Because like, as we mentioned, you can't avoid it, but there are things you can control. And so if you do take control, you know, with plastics coming in, or, you know, how much chemicals are you bringing in? You know, you've got to look at your makeup and your body products and your food and your water and your air. Like,
yeah.
there's so much. And that's why I'm saying we could do a completely a different, it's a whole nother topic, but
you just start at
related
one spot.
One thing. You just like, for me growing up, I actually like cleaning. Like, I don't mind cleaning. It's like, I find some pure joy and satisfaction in getting the job done, I guess. But I just would die when it was my job to like clean the bathroom, especially like the tub. I would just feel so terrible. And it was years later, and probably in my 20s, when I realized how extremely sensitive I was to all those chemical smells. Like, I will not touch Clorox. Somebody wants me to do some with a Clorox wipe. I'm like, I'm sorry, because I'll smell it on my hands and it'll give me a headache for as long as you can smell it for like days.
And it's absorbing into your system.
It's absorbing into your system. And there's just, like I said, like really looking at limiting, you know, toxicity, including toxic people, you know, really looking at what am I consuming and digesting every day. And again, this is not always intuitive. It's why you need, like, that's why people will guide you through this, because it feels like this mountain to climb. And it's a lot. And like, for me, I made changes over decades, and I feel like I'm still learning a little something and making a little change. You know, I'll be like, oh, I didn't know about that, and make a little change. But you can't let it overwhelm you. You have to just start anywhere.
Right.
Pick one thing. As soon as you run out of something, like, make a healthier swap.
Yes.
It can be as simple as that.
Well, and I think people just are so, and I'm a little bit always surprised at how unaware people are of what they're putting in their body, of how much work it is for your body to detox what they're putting in.
And we're so conditioned. I mean, we're just greenwashed. We think that if it has a clean label, then it's okay.
It's painful.
Yeah, but I mean, they're so good at trickery.
They are,
and that's sad. That makes it very, very frustrating for the average person that is trying to do better. And
then just even coming back around to this idea of the amount of people that are unaware. And again, I think that's part of this, like, get people disconnected from their bodies, get people disconnected from the earth. Right. And they're just not as savvy. You know, the more you are tuned in with your body and you start recognizing when, like, oh man, I had that piece of birthday cake and I feel terrible, because your body's not made to deal with that much sugar.
Or chemicals.
Or chemicals, depending on, even if it's a really good piece of organic almond flour cake, you know, it's like your body's not made to deal with that amount of sugar. And again, I'm not saying don't ever have the cake. Girl, have the cake. Like, sometimes you got to have the cake, but there's moderation, you know, just
even thinking about like timing, like eating the cake at the end after you've eaten your protein and your fiber.
Versus your blood sugar doesn't
first.
So I am curious if we could go back to sweating as a detox pathway, or your skin as a detox pathway, because I think I'd like a little bit more information on that. If someone doesn't have a sauna, and then I'd love to kind of go, I know, Brittany, your website is about vitality, so maybe we can talk about just normal people living in this world and how we can, what do we do every day to just live a life where we are being healthy in this world that really is not healthy. That's so hard to be healthy. And then we'll talk a little bit about what you guys are doing to work together. So, but sweating, I know I have an infrared sauna. I think, Kara, that was one of the things you had recommended to me initially when I was, dealing with Lyme's, and it was powerful. I think that was part of the sickness. I don't know what it was with that, but I don't think I had done much sweating for, let's say, 14, 15 years at that point.
Yeah.
This is a long time for your body to not have that detox pathway.
Yeah. So I do not have a sauna. I would like one, but I do not have one. So exercise.
Okay.
Exercise can be a good way. I will take a hot bath and sweat in the bath. I mean, I like it hot, and I turn the heat on in the bath, and I literally lay in the water and sweat.
So you have a heater outside the tub that's blowing on you too? Is that what you mean? Okay.
Yeah. We have one in our wall, but if you didn't have one built in the wall, just a tiny little portable heater you could turn on in your bathroom, and in a closed space,
far away from the water.
Yes, far away from the water. I put some Epsom salt and some
mineral salts.
Baking soda, bentonite clay you can add, some essential oils,
Little hack with essential oils, always mix them into your salts. If you just put them into the water, oil and water, they don't mix. But if you take the essential oil and mix it into the salt, it'll dissolve more easily into your bath.
Good hack.
Yeah.
Well, I'm also, if you guys want to say anything about athletic clothes, I know I was doing hot yoga forever and then realized that I might have been absorbing more toxins through my skin as
me and my toxic leggings right now. Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah.
I mean, this is an area for me that it's on my radar, and I haven't been able to implement the big change yet.
But there are some companies that are promoting clean activewear. I have not made that swap either. In fact, I was just telling Kara that I probably needed to do that. But it's something
one that I know of. They have organic cotton, everything from little dresses to,
that's a switch I'm trying to make right now. I think it's because I forever wore leggings, and then they got to an even worse chemical that I was wearing for a while I was going to hot yoga, and I feel like I need all the levels of needing to detox from that, but probably haven't yet. So watch your athletic wear as you work out and sweat.
And
even your bras and underwear.
I was going to say that too. And especially if anyone uses period panties, for the ladies out there, get organic cotton. Linen is another really great fabric. The frequency of real fabrics.
Yeah.
Right.
And the more flowy, is going to improve your frequency instead of being restrictive.
Even though, man, I'm telling you, decades wearing leggings. I'm going to work out, whether I'm going to work out or not. So, yeah.
Well, and one of the things that I really think is important on the emotional side of things, like I just said, I'm very aware of that. And I have implemented it with, definitely any products that I use, for cycling, menstruals, it's all stuff. We absorb a lot in that area. So we want to be using organic cotton. I've made those changes, but in my entire wardrobe, that feels overwhelming. So I don't let myself live in fear. I don't go, oh my gosh, I'm being exposed to all these things. And I just don't want anyone to be out there thinking I am doing all these things, because and now you have some awareness. And if you can gently walk yourself into the thing that feels the easiest to change, one little thing, maybe you just start doing this little pump, because it doesn't cost anything. So you do your little lymph pump.
And let me say, anyone who's just listening, Kara's crossing her hands, using the two fingers on her, index finger, middle finger, and doing the little pump sensation right above the collarbone, basically with your hands crossed.
Yeah, and the best thing is just to look on YouTube and find
YouTube and find it, or just watch this on YouTube.
Yeah. There's even more that you can do or watch this on. You can, after you open that area, you can then pull down the lymph, and I'll do my face also, and just like getting things, because I had a head trauma, so I got a lot of congestion in my lymph, and so I'm always trying to get things to move, But yeah, I think it's important to be really gentle and easy with yourself as you make positive changes, and find the thing that feels like, okay, that vibration plate sounded interesting, or, I can go on a walk, or, whatever it is that felt like a low hanging fruit. Start there, celebrate, feel so good about what you're doing, and just keep making small changes. Get yourself in a community where people are talking about,
awareness and
a little cleaner. Yeah.
I think you really touched on something very important, is not living in fear. I think that's huge in regards to all the things, health, wellness, and vitality, because fear is, it just sabotages every aspect of you. So whether you're wanting to detox physically or emotionally, and it becomes overwhelming, and you're fearful that you're exposed to all of this stuff, just pause. Because it's not something to be, yes, it can be scary, because we can't get away from it. But the point is, like, don't let that overwhelm you. Don't let that take over. Realize that you are working towards.
Be empowered by the knowledge.
Empowered by it. Yes.
Yeah, and we definitely need to do another maybe more than one conversation about all the things we're talking about that you're probably are putting you're doing it to yourself. You're doing it to yourself when you expose yourself to a lot of different things and you don't know it. So I think on this path, I think it is so hard to go. I cannot believe, remember one of the first things you taught me, Kara, was like the mercury in my mouth is probably it's going to stop me from healing. And that was one of the first things I did, is have that taken out. What a bad idea to put a neurotoxin in your head. But, that's what they've been doing. So, it doesn't make there's not a lot of common sense in that, but it is what is done, in my mind anyway. So as we look at every little thing, polyester clothing is made of plastic, or, and chemicals and petrochemicals. So maybe we remove some of those, but every little thing you learn also causes a distress, because then you're like, oh shoot, these people I love also are exposing themselves to it. And are we going to be the person that walks around slapping drinks out of people's hands because they shouldn't be having that, or food? And
no,
wouldn't that be fun though? That would be kind of fun.
You're not going to be.
I have done that before, but
I know. I never flinch, watching people putting stuff in their bodies that I know is going to be harmful. Never flinch. And, but I'm sad. We talk about it.
And one of the things that I have learned, and this is true both emotionally and physically, I cannot let myself care more about someone's health or wellness than they do. So, and in fact, I have learned that unless someone asks me, I don't share the information unless someone expresses interest, because on the contrary, I find people feel pretty defensive. And I don't know if that's the fear of like, oh, I can't afford it, or I don't want to make the changes. Or I think we've been taught that things like that instant gratification. And so if there's something that feels like a lot of effort, it just feels like, oh, do I really need to do that? Like there's just this, I don't know, cultural way of thinking that is not responsible or taking ownership for the knowledge that's out there. And it's been perpetuated. We've been taught to think like that. So I can't fault someone for thinking like that, but I am here to help you. I'm like, I am here to help you. And even I want to just mention that, we've talked about the overlap of emotions in the body, but even detoxing emotions from your body, meaning in your lifetime, and this is a lot of the work that I do with people, in your lifetime, you've had all these experiences. You've had moments of trauma. You've had moments of fear. You've had, just different interactions. You've had seasons of grief. Maybe you've had some really hard things happen and you've been in a season of grief and then had to get back to work and function. Mm-hmm. And so emotions are locked into our energetic field and our body, the matter that's in this field. And so when we talk about like looking at our body and considering what are some of the programs that are locked into me, and as we loosen those up and let them go or give space for feeling the things that we've been through in a really nurturing and gentle way with guidance and support, it's just really amazing how we can change the experience of our life and feel more alive and vital. To segue into this vitality that you want to talk about, I think if we're carrying around a lot of stuffed emotion, which again, we've talked about this, you kind of stuff it, those symptoms and keep moving. It's the same way with emotions. We stuff them and keep showing up and keep having our bright, happy face on or our stone face, whatever way you show up. And we're holding things that need to be felt. So I just think that, it's so important to keep these things in balance, the physical and the emotional, both and.
Yeah.
Brittany, what are your thoughts on vitality? I know you talk about it so much; it's all over your website.
Yeah.
And I gotta know.
That was just something that kind of came about when I was working with one of my mentors. She's like, "Well, you're the vitality queen." I'm like, "You're right." That is really that's what I want. I think because I was Kara can identify growing up and then all the things that happened in my life in my 20s and my 30s. I have been on a perpetual cycle of survival. Mm-hmm. And when my health got to the point multiple times that I couldn't function and digging myself out of that, I really realized that I was not alone on this island. There were other people other than Kara and myself that were going through the same things. And, they didn't have answers. They didn't have someone to listen to them. They didn't have guidance. And I wanted to be that person for all the women. And I've worked with men too, but all the women that could identify with this feeling of hopelessness and helplessness and wanting to live and thrive and be their best version of themselves, yet they're barely hanging on. And so my work as a functional medicine nurse practitioner, trying to find, what's really happening in their body, that was the starting place of renewing their vitality. But knowing that emotions are the big key. You gotta have both sides. And so, I probably thought about it, but not real consciously. And then when the whole picture of one of my programs is called Vital Clarity, the Vital Clarity Experience. And it's a 6-month program where we dive into not only, just your labs, but we, do more functional labs and come up with the physical things that we need to fix. I knew I needed Kara in that emotional aspect to help the person on the it's a scale. You gotta have, you gotta be equal, you gotta be balanced.
Yeah.
And so that was just like the missing piece of the Vital Clarity Experience. I'm like, we have to do this together because
and that's like,
oh my gosh, because we've always been together. We've been together since 5, and twins.
Yes. We used to climb up on the monkey bars in kindergarten at recess. Like our activity was to climb up on the monkey bars and plan our twin outfits for the next day.
Oh, that's so funny.
By the way, we had no clothes that looked anything like one another, but we felt like twins.
We did not look like twins at all, but we were soul sisters. So there you have it.
I love it.
Oh my gosh.
So, I feel like you guys are saying vitality has a lot to do with emotional, understanding your emotional state and why you feel the way you do. Mm-hmm. And then opening up detox pathways. And that might be the first couple steps in.
Yeah. I mean you have to be realistic. We talked about quick fixes multiple times, and
it takes time.
It takes time physically. Mm-hmm. It takes time emotionally. Mm-hmm. And I don't think we ever get to the end. Mm-hmm. It's about becoming. I mean, Kara mentioned that, she's an author. I just recently was published as well. And one of the things that I mentioned, one of my taglines is "Be exquisitely you." And that was something that I didn't even really fully understand what that line meant for many years. It was just a brand that I decided that I liked, but it's been a becoming of me. Mm-hmm. Like, what does that mean to me? And that's what I want for every woman out there. I want them to be the most exquisite, most vibrant person there is in their own bodies. I want them to love themselves. I want them to be full of joy and just radiate all the goodness that they have to offer instead of just barely getting by. So that's
part of the partnership, that we both do that with our people. Like, that's what we both individually have been doing from different angles and, joined together. It's like this powerhouse combo where it's like, let's get you healthy on the inside in your physical body. And let's do the work of looking at social programming, family programming, inner child wounding, nervous system regulation, befriending your emotions. Like, if you want to live your life, you have to look at some of those hard things, because it can be a challenge. Like, that's why I encourage people, get support when you're trying to do these things. Like, it is much easier when you have support, but it can be hard to go into these spaces. But when you've unearthed what's under them and the opening and the expansion, it's like that contraction of going in, and then comes the expansion of the life afterwards that you're able to live because you've created the space through the healing.
Yes.
And that happens physically, that happens emotionally. And when you get both of those on track, and you're working through those things, your life is going to be better. You're going to be able to show up and live your life and feel more alive and bring whatever it is that you're here to bring, and love your people better and love yourself better, and just all those really yummy things.
For sure. Yeah. And I feel like I have in mind, like, this is for men too. I know we're talking as women, and we talk about women issues because we're women, and that makes sense.
I mean, men go through the same thing. They have these same.
I definitely work with male clients. My client population is more female, but I always have several men on, my docket. And I love working with guys. And I feel like when guys decide that they want to do the emotional work,
it's so powerful.
It's so powerful. And they seem to be able to because they are more linear, they're able to straight line changes, make changes. And it's like they can move through things in a different way. And if they want to do the work, it makes huge impact. And it's beautiful.
And as women, we want you to be in touch with your emotions. So even though society tells you that don't feel emotions and that's not manly, or whatever it is that maybe our generations and older have said, and maybe it isn't as common, but get in touch with your emotions. You'll be healthier.
Absolutely.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, and it makes it easier to be a truly masculine man, holding the space of the beautiful, sacred masculine when you are in touch with those emotions and in a healthy body.
Yeah.
In a healthy body.
Yeah.
So tell me about the stuff you guys are going to be doing together. I know it's kind of in progress, but give me a little bit.
A little rundown.
Give me a little rundown.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of touched on it, but yeah, it currently, yeah, we are we have I have so many vital programs. The Vital Clarity Experience.
Mm-hmm.
We have vitality calls. We have, yeah, I probably overdid it on the term vital. But,
vitality.
Yeah.
What is it? Okay, so tell me the name of the program again.
The Vital Clarity Experience.
The Vital Clarity Experience.
Yes. Yes.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And that includes, like she was saying, labs and individual care with Brittany, and then a group component with me, with the opportunity to work individually if desired.
Yep.
So this is something that isn't rolled out yet. People can't find it yet, but it's coming.
Oh, it's rolled out.
Oh, it is rolled out. Okay,
Yeah.
so how do we get to it? How do we find it? Is it on your websites?
On my website, if you complete the application, there's or go to the contact page, it directs you to the application, and then you just get in contact with me after, like, there's a booking link after the application is completed. And then, yes, we will have a conversation. And if it's a good fit, then we can slide you in there.
That's very cool.
It's not yet on my website, what we do together, but anyone would be welcome to reach out on my website, which is just Stoltenberg.com, in terms of, being in contact if they needed something directly, and also information about our program, which we need to get on my website.
We do.
So I love that. How long does how long does it usually last for people to walk through it?
This is a 6-month program.
Okay.
6 months is a good period of time to make some significant progress. You want to go on beyond there, you can, but the initial program is 6 months.
Okay. I think you talked a little bit about it, and I wasn't registering with me that was your Together program. So I guess I have to clarify.
I mean, we both have individual programs. I mean, you can work with each of us individually as well.
Yeah.
Which on my website is going to be the same. You're going to complete the same application, and then we're just going to determine on a call which program works best for you. And we contact Kara the same way, from her website. So.
And these are virtual, because you guys aren't in the same area. So that's great. I love that you
do some in-person stuff. So again, depending on people's needs and depending on, like, I do some like deep dive personal retreats, and I will travel to people. So, I have some in-person things. I think as our world gets more and more techie, I get more and more hands-on. I'm like, let's be in the room together. I want to hug you. And Brittany and I actually have dreams that will become a reality to do retreats together with larger groups of people, probably in the Mediterranean.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Okay, you want to come, Mary?
Okay. Start saving my pennies right now. That sounds lovely.
We have some really beautiful, like, we want to get women together in a space where we can get really honest about what it takes to live that vital life, and also what blocks us from that, and to clear some of those blocks out in a powerful sort of transformational experience and time and retreat. I'm a big fan of retreats, and I feel like they can shift energy. They can shift beliefs.
Being in the room with, like, working with someone in that capacity, you can do a lot virtually, but that closeness to that energy just can move mountains.
Mhm.
So,
And I find both and then the ongoing support, like in my work, the ongoing support for transformation and day by day making decisions that make my life look different based on I learned these things about my inner child wounding. And so now what? Now how do I live differently to not have this directing my ship? So having that ongoing support, I think, is also important because transformation happens over time. But there's this valuable being in the room and sharing space. So that's definitely on the docket. That one is not yet set, planned, booked, but it will be. So stay tuned.
In the drawing board stage.
And it will also be fun, and there will be dancing, and there will be a lot of laughing.
Maybe some wine.
Dancing
Probably
is,
some wine,
essential
definitely some
to
coffee.
vitality.
Yeah.
What was that, Kara?
I said probably some wine, definitely some coffee. Those are our favorite.
Yeah. Wine, dancing, coffee, that all sounds good.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you guys for coming on. As we close, I want to make sure everyone has the resources they need to get in contact with you. So your websites, I'm going to spell out their names. Their names are both their websites. So Brittany Heyden, is that how you said it? Heyden.
Yes, Heyden, yeah.
BrittanyHeyden.com. And then Kara Stoltenberg, KaraStoltenberg.com. So their names, which are not super easy names to spell, it's easy to misspell those. So go to show notes or go to YouTube if you're listening and didn't catch that, or just Google it. Brittany Heyden, Kara Stoltenberg. Do your best, and I think probably something will come up. So I want you guys to say whatever you want to do in closing, and I'd love to have you guys back on again to go into things that, what we're doing that we could maybe eliminate from our life to take in less toxins at some point soon. But as you kind of give any closing thoughts, could you also mention the books that you have so that they can look for those also?
Yeah.
Or anything else that's maybe not on your website.
Yeah. So closing thoughts. I would like to just say, first off, thank you for having me. I've enjoyed this conversation so much.
Me too.
It's just been a lot of fun. And I think we gave some great, easy tips. And I think that's one of the biggest keys. Detoxing does not have to be hard. It just takes a little bit of effort, and doing small adjustments can make a big difference. So start small. And if you are wanting to dive deeper, please don't do it on your own. Please seek out someone that can help you, that can guide you, because it can be a very bumpy road and scary if you don't know what you're doing. So that would be my little tidbit of advice. And as far as my new book that was just published, it's called Empower Her, and you can find it on Amazon.
Nice. Lovely.
Yay. Yeah, I guess my closing thought would be your body is made to heal. And I think it's why we're here on the planet. If there's something physically off, your body is brilliant and it knows how to heal, and it knows how to detox. Your body's made to detoxify. But again, becoming a little bit aware that there's a lot going on in our environment that is more than we were made to handle.
Right.
But there's still a lot you can do to support. And so befriending your body.
Yes.
She is working hard for you.
Listen.
So give her a little grace, listen, and befriend your emotions. It's another thing. We want to kind of be hard on ourselves when we're like, oh, I'm still just feeling whatever. It's like, okay. I had a client the other day say I'm trying not to be so grumpy. And I'm like, I suggest you lean into that grumpiness. Befriend it, talk, understand it. Why are you feeling grumpy? Like, what's going on? Is there something physically going on? I used to always do that as a mom. I would be like, okay, he's definitely hungry. He's 5 years old. We're having a testosterone spike. Like, what is going on physically? And then what's going on emotionally that's contributing to this meltdown right now, or this behavior, or this anger, or whatever it is. We can do that same thing for ourselves. Like, if you're feeling grumpy, rather than just trying to have a positive attitude, first lean into, I'm grumpy. What's going on here? Give yourself some space. And then recognize, like, oh, there's this, and there's this, and there's this, and the world is on fire. And that's always one of them, and then perhaps you will find it more attainable to choose a positive attitude and be like, okay, despite all these things, I want to try to have a great day. So I'm gonna try to muster it up, whatever. But befriend your body, befriend your emotions, and befriend people who are supportive to your journey, both physically and emotionally, because I don't know what I would have done without these ladies.
Oh gosh.
For my whole life. I've been married for the last, decade and a half, almost 2. And, it's really important to have support and people in your life that are also trying their best.
For sure.
Physically, emotionally, like, we learn from each other. We carry each other when there are those seasons. We hype each other up. This is so important. Let's get behind one another.
Yeah.
Hold each other's arms up when they're falling down.
Yeah.
Cheer each other on. All those things.
And we all go through hard things, so having a circle is always the only good way to move forward. Is that people have
and
more
women
people.
in circle is one of the most powerful things.
Yeah,
it's so powerful. So I have 3 books that I have contributed to, and all 3 of them are on Amazon. The first one was called Pebbles in the Pond, Wave 4. The next one was called Dream Boldly, I Dare You, which was one of my favorites. It was such a fun collaboration. And that was the first. There's 2 volumes of that. Mine was the first one. And then the last one I just did was a breathwork collaboration. It was a book about breathwork, and that incorporated into a personal journey and how breathwork has been part of my healing. So I'm trying to remember the name of that one, but it's that one. They're all on Amazon, and if you search me, you're going to find them.
Okay.
I'm currently working on a book about my journey in the last 7 years since a near-death experience that I had. Was in a hit-and-run accident and was left on the side of the road unconscious to die, and have worked in the last 7 years to rebuild my life. But the lessons around being so very present to the now and drawing in all my energy to here and being present and alive, finding my way to I am okay, and then realizing, oh, that's not enough for me, because I want to be okay, but I want to be alive. Like, I want so much more than I'm okay. But it took me years to get to I'm okay. So, just the journey, and it's such a universal journey because it's what I walk clients through all the time. I'm not okay. I'm okay. Okay, now how do we go from here and get you living your best life? And what does that look like for you? And that's different for everyone. So I'm working on that one, and it's a work in progress, and it's okay with me that it's a work in progress. I don't put deadlines on these kind of things. I wait for the urge to come through, and then I let it roll. That's how my writing works.
I think all the time, life and flow, and then I think of Kara, and then I think of my life, and I'm like, not there yet, but it is a really nice goal.
Aww.
No, I do. I'm like, oh, no flow in this, but
I love you. Thank you for
love you
having us.
too.
This was a really
Thank
fun
you.
conversation. Thanks for letting me bring my bestie on.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it. I love that you guys are working together. So,
Yeah.
all right, you have a wonderful evening, everyone, and until next time.
Okay,
Yep.
bye.